Hi guys, welcome to this week's pod. I think first thing we're going to cover is the West Ham calamity. Everyone see the result?
The bottle at the bridge. Yes, I did see the result, yes.
I don't know whether battle at the bridge is the way I'd describe it.
No, I said bottle. I said bottle. Bottle at the bridge.
I thought you said battered at the bridge.
No.
I thought that would have fit as well.
Yeah. I think we got taught a lesson in football from a team that's been the worst Chelsea team in about 10 years. Nicholas Jackson, we made look like Drogba.
It was an absolutely disgusting result. I watched some of it, caught a lot of the highlights, and do you know what, mate? Looking at the stats, I actually just genuinely felt sick. We got another London derby where we've had an absolute seeing to. We've had 29% possession, great,
Yep.
and we didn't even manage half the amount of passes they did.
Not kept a clean sheet in 16 games, by the way. One I've just put out there as well. I don't know if everyone universally agrees, but I would say the worst West Ham team I've ever seen is the Avram Grant year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
We are actually level with conceded goals with Avram Grant's year now, and we still have Man City to play and Luton to play, who are fighting for survival. So, Adam Catterall was on TalkSport earlier this week saying we should give him a new contract because he's done well at us. I don't know who he's watching. I think we've had 3 wins this calendar year, and that's if you count the Freiburg win.
In all honesty, I just think with how negative of football we're playing, we're not even getting the chances anymore, to be honest. And it's like we say it week in, week out. You can anticipate what he's going to do before the match has even started. So if I can do that, and I'm standard Joe sitting on my sofa watching this, a professional manager who gets millions of pounds to manage a team is going to see this from a mile away. And
I'd love to know as well. You look at that team, right? And I think it's nigh on because he brought this up. He tried to bring it up by quantifying it, going, "Oh, it's the same team that drew against Liverpool." But it was a poor Liverpool team last week. I don't think Salah started. We shouldn't have drew 2-2. We went to Palace and got beat 5-2. I think it's the same team that got beat off Palace. And that Ogbonna Zuma centre back partnership hasn't worked for the last 2 months when he's tried it. So why aren't we using Ben Johnson? Is there no centre backs in the academy that we're going, they're worth a try at this point?
It was what we mentioned. It's the same as what we mentioned last week as well, though. Like, I like working with a smaller squad. A smaller squad is not 11 people. You know what I mean? It's not 11 people. At least have a pool of 20 to pick from Moyes. Like this, it's actually beyond a joke now because now it's like he has 13 people he trusts at West Ham, and it ain't working. We're 3-0 down. Bring on Aaron Cresswell.
I don't know what it's like. From an outside perspective. Maybe you've got Gavin who actually watches good football most weeks, but Edson Alvarez seems to get pulled every single week. First sub every single fucking week. I think he's our best holding midfielder.
Yeah. No, I agree. I genuinely think he's our best holding midfielder. A lot of the time, he looks like one of the only players that's actively interested. Is the only way that I can say it. I think at the moment, right? Obviously my TikTok went up earlier, and one of the comments, 10 out of 10, is the manager is to blame, but some of the players have to be held accountable. And I back it. But I also think that the morale must be in the dirt. Because how can you look forward to going to Palace, fucked, Fulham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, playing negative football, having none of the ball, barely getting a shot off, and sitting there going, yes, boys, I'm up for this game next week? No, I'd be depressed, mate. I'd be sitting there going, tell you what, I'm just going to pull an injury.
It feels like a weekly rant on the pod that we have. And I always think to myself, and that Palace result, I was thinking, that 5-2 can't get any worse. That 5-2 just can't get any worse. And that Chelsea game, I mean, they've just topped it. I mean, next week we get done off Luton. If we play like that, we're done. And Zuma needs to have a look at himself. Areola was weak today. Kufal was okay. Paqueta's gone. Paqueta's already in Manchester. He's there with his mop top and his fucking trench coat. Seeing don't look back in anger. He's already away. Antonio was the only one that showed a bit of fight. Kudus looked pissed off. But then, where's the will for them to play? Even if Paqueta's going and things like that. If you know he ain't going to be the manager next year, why are you going to want to play for him?
But also, right?
I get this. I get players not being happy with the current situation, and I completely get that. But at the end of the day, they're earning a fucking wage. You should still go out there and at least, even if your morale's down, you should still look to your key players. Paqueta, Kudus, Bowen. You know what? I'll give Bowen his props today. He was very unlucky. He's hit the fucking crossbar 3 times today.
Yeah.
He was the only one that seemed to do anything. But you can't, if it was Arsenal doing this, and they did it at the end of Wenger towards the start of Emery, is we weren't enjoying it, and the result showed it. Mate, you're getting paid. I don't know what West Ham's structure is like now, but ours was, you're getting paid $200,000 a week. That's good enough to be going on that pitch and at least putting a fucking fake smile on and trying.
I think also for me, there's got to be accountability. I think what we've seen with the players, I think they have to accept the fact that they're not turning up. I agree with you. You get paid a wage, right? Even if Moyes, with an absolute dross that he's trying to drag out onto the pitch at the moment, you need to show the effort. You put on the shirt, you're proud to wear it, and go for it. But I also think on the manager side of it, stand up and be accountable. So far, he's blamed fans, he's blamed players.
Would you see what he done midweek? He blamed the away wins on the possibility that we've lost Declan Rice, and you just that's fine saying that. But the first half of the season, when we had away wins at Brighton and places like that, and Arsenal in December, you weren't calling for Declan Rice then. So what's changed?
You know what the thing is, right? Declan Rice is a big player. He's a big player for West Ham. He's a big player for us. If he thinks that he hasn't replaced him, that's his own fucking fault. He's brought 2 players in, when Ward-Prowse and Alvarez, to try and counter the hole that Rice had left. If he's moaning about it, he can't look to the fans, he can't look to the players, he has to look at himself. He has to look at his backroom staff. So unfortunately, you were European Cup winners last year, and so far, this half of the year alone, it's more like a relegation form.
It's relegation form.
European form.
We are so lucky the amount of points we've racked up in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are fucked. I think we've got. Just going off the top of my head, I think we may have got 14 points since January. I mean, that's relegation form.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only reason we're not further down is because the mid-table teams haven't done very well either.
No. I think luckily, the way things have fallen around us, we're very lucky to be in the position we are. But I think if you look at the end, that the way you've seen us play so far, something has to change. And this whole people cut, and I'm hating it in the media at the moment because they're all backing him and you've had a good season. Have we had a good season? Because all of this year, at least since January, we have just been slapped about. We have done nothing, and we have looked so absent.
The media are making it sound like it's a witch hunt for Moyes, and it just simply isn't that.
It just isn't.
Yes, you can voice your opinion, and yes, there may be some West Ham fans that go a little bit too far, but there's that in every fan base. You know what I mean? When it was Neil Lennon at Celtic, he had a fucking fireworks show through his letterbox. I mean, that's not happening to Moyes, but they're acting as if it's like a trial and execution for Moyes.
Do you know what does me, right? Is it at this very moment you've had Postecoglou lose 4 games straight in a row, and people in Talk Sport like Jamie O'Hara and Rory Jennings are calling for his head, but we have lost 11 games this year. We are apparently a pragmatic defensive team. We have conceded 70 goals this season, shipped them. And yet apparently he's doing wonders. And I just don't understand how they're looking at us through a different guise and going, yeah, we're doing all right, aren't we? We've had hardly any injuries all season.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, with I am not putting words in people's mouths here before people fucking start. I think people that go on TalkSport, sometimes Sky Sports, they look at Spurs and they look at they should be challenging for the title, and then you have the likes of, no offence, West Ham, where they should be happy to get in mid-table to the top end of the league, when it just simply isn't that. At the end of the day, yes, you might have not had very good form the past couple of years. You won a European Cup, yeah, you should be happy about that. But you are happy. Like, you're not sitting here going, I'm not happy about that. It's this season. Like, the thing is, right? If you go to work and you don't do your job well enough, one, you're going to get sacked. You look towards the manager for help. If your manager isn't doing it, you move teams. You go somewhere else. You get a different manager in. Because why are you going to have the consequences for your manager?
I agree with you. The only thing I would say is as well, Steven Gerrard went through a tough period, and everyone didn't mind Steven Gerrard getting booted out and getting Emery in. So I completely get you. It just seems a witch hunt against West Ham fans. Like, oh, we're never happy. It's because I think years ago we branded this West Ham way, and people are like, what is the West Ham way? Jeff Stelling's been a right cunt in the last couple of months going on about it. It's like, and also as well, I think I said this last week or the week before. It's like, if we knew what was happening with Moyes, he'd have a better reception from the fans. But this delay and delay and delay is just causing more stick than it's worth. He got booed today. He didn't even go over the away fans today.
That's a crime in itself. Sorry, Jay, that is a crime in itself. And that's one thing that pisses me off all over football. Your fans have paid fucking hard money for West Ham to travel over the fucking water, fucking watch that shit, and you don't even have 30 seconds to go over and go, my bad, I'm sorry. That's the one thing, well, not the one thing, that's one of the many things I like about Klopp. Win, lose, draw, he goes over there. Straight away. 100%. There's no reason, rhythm, rhyme, fucking anything that he should not go over and thank those travelling fans.
No,
it's a fucking crime in itself. Yeah. And that's one reason he should go. He's got no respect for the club. He says he does, he fucking doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's living on it. This is the same man that refused to walk away from Man United and then got sacked, so he had a 7-year payoff him. This man has no loyalty. He wants a paycheck, which is fair enough, because I don't think he's going to get a paycheck anywhere else. I want him either to... genuinely, I want the club to come out and just go... Apparently, Tim Steiden's put in the news through Fabrizio Romano going, oh, he's not staying. There's no way he's staying. I don't want it like that. I want the club to come out right now and go, he is not staying on. We are looking at our options. Because then, the last 2 games, the players then aren't looking at it going, well, if we lose, who cares? They're looking at it going, I need to put myself in the good books, a new manager that's looking at me. Whether it's... And by the way, I don't want Lopetegui. Before anyone asks what my preferred choice would be, I do not want Lopetegui. The ex-Wolves manager, I don't want him. Like, he done good at Sevilla, but he doesn't play good football, and we are in the exact same boat then. We're in the peddling top 10 with shit football. Yeah. And I ain't doing it again.
What are the 3 Reims that's left? Will, what was it? Will, what's his fucking name? Forgot his name. He's called Will. Can't answer his fucking first name. Fucking briefcase one.
To be honest, mate, I just want someone who's going to play football that I can actually turn the TV on and be proud to watch.
Yeah,
but if you look at Reims was in the lower part of the league, in the Ligue, and he took them with Lorient Balogun last season, who was 20 years old, scored 20 plus goals last season. He could do the same with Bowen, Kudos, anybody. His defence is solid. I think his midfield might be the only weakest part, but that was Reims' midfield. You guys actually have good players in midfield. They just don't really know how to work together, and I think that's one of the biggest problems as well.
I don't know about Ben. I've had some thought actually today after watching that shambolic 5-0. The 3 I'd like to see, if you had to give me 3 in no particular order, is Amorim from Sporting Lisbon, plays good football. I think he won the Superliga last year. Pacheska from Lille, quality football again, done brilliant at Lille. And then the third person, but I don't think you'd get him, is Ian McKenna from Ipswich, and he's only just got Ipswich promoted, and I don't see him jumping shit. But I want good football, and I don't want... If we're going to be mid-table, could we just be mid-table and good football?
Yeah, I'd accept that.
If Burnley go down...
No.
If... Not Company?
No, because he doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't play good football. He tries to mimic City and Arsenal with players that can't do it, and he doesn't know when to stop that. And for me, that's the reason. I don't think he'll be able to do it at West Ham. We don't have the players. We don't have the midfield for that.
That's fair.
I get worried when he's... Sorry, go on.
I seen what he done in the Championship, and if Emery was Burnley last season to this season, it's a different fucking team. It's the same players, but they don't play the same. If he played the way he did last season, Not saying that they'd go on and fucking get Europe and stuff, but they wouldn't be in a relegation battle. They just wouldn't.
No, I saw a couple of games last year, and I agree. Yeah, Burnley would be doing a lot better if he kept to his own tactics. But I genuinely think though, like when it comes to a derby, right, our most important games are any of the games in London, in my opinion. They're any of the games in London. It could be bloody Fulham. I don't care, right? At the moment, I would like to say we could paint them as irrelevant, but they thumped us 5-0. Like, just how many London derbies does he have to hemorrhage? Could you imagine?
From mind, this calendar year, I think we shipped 18 goals this year to London opposition.
Could you imagine, right? And this,
I thought them were tough.
What if Millwall were in the Prem? Could you imagine, right? Us getting fucked by Millwall 4-0.
Right now, Ben, we would get beat by them.
But that's what I'm saying. They turn up and they
can't play football.
And, yeah, but that's what I mean. You need, like, these games, after hemorrhaging goals against London opposition, we're meant to be West Ham, we're meant to be an East London club, we're meant to be proud of where we're from and that. You're getting fucked by everyone over the river.
So I called this in January, right? Just after the Arsenal game when we lost 6-0, I said I think we beat everyone bar Fulham the first half of the season in London. We would not do any of them. And the only thing we've done in London has been Brentford. And I think it was 3-2 if memory serves, or 4-3. It was one of them. It was close. But we shipped 5 at Palace, 5 at Chelsea, 6 at Arsenal. It's just been
awful,
a horror show. As I said, I don't know what you think, Ben. I personally don't see the problem. We're not right now. If he's got a man in mind that even if it's Lopetegui, I don't want Lopetegui, but if they've already confirmed Lopetegui, go do me a favour, just put it out there because it stops the toxicity. Then it cuts it clean.
It's not even that. It's a case of you want clarity from head to toe, but it shouldn't be this person's coming in. It should be Moyes isn't going to be here.
No, I agree with that.
That's what it should be until the end of the season. Let him go. Let him get his fucking flowers, his fucking.
He made another thing midweek, didn't he? He made another thing midweek going, well, the contract is still there and I can sign it if I want to. Why are you threatening the fan base for that? There's no need to do that.
I'll agree with you with that, Gav. For me, I don't care what manager they're announcing at the moment. For me, the action needs to be he's gone either at the weekend or the end of the season, wherever. Our season's over anyway. But
is that not a bit thingy though, Ben? Is that not a bit? Is that not a bit like? Because I always say I don't want a manager out until I know I can get someone better. Is that not a bit against that?
To be honest, I would agree with that in normal sense, right? If we'd had a playing average season, we were just looking to make an improvement. I'd agree that you'd stick with what you've got until you got someone better. I think at the moment, though, like you said, we're lucky to be where we are. We're lucky we're not the bottom half of the table. And I think the problem is, the club's
will be. We will be by the end of the season.
Well, yeah, we will. But what I mean is the club's just sat silently in the background while we're getting packed every week. And then no one's coming out and saying anything. So, yeah, you are getting toxic reactions from us. Do you know why? Say something. Do something. You're meant to be the leaders of our club, and you're doing nothing other than, don't worry, because we'll post a little Payet goal on Instagram. That's lovely. Right. Remind us when we used to play good football. Class. Cheers for that.
It makes you wonder, though. If it hasn't been decided who the manager is, the summer's going to be an absolute shitstorm because we're not going to know who to sign. And you've got to remember as well, Paqueta's gone. Yeah. Paqueta's leaving. Yeah. So and you've got to get at least 2 centre backs in if Mavropanos isn't reliably fit. And at the moment, right now, by the way, he looks like a first choice centre back for us. So you've got to get at least 2 centre backs in. You've probably got to get a striker in as well. I mean, how long have we been saying that? Oh. You've got so much to do in the summer.
That's a good striker we got in. Moyes scared him off. So you know what I mean? Like the big, exactly. Free past Liverpool, one of the best teams in Europe. Nah, he's fine. Moyes don't fancy him. I don't know how many times we've said that about players that have come in and we've gone, Moyes won't fancy him. Yeah. Maxwell Cornet, there is a player in there. It's fine. He can have.
Yeah, you saw it at Burnley.
He could have 5 minutes at the end of the game. Class, mate. That's lots of time to show your talent, isn't it? Half of the time, it's bloody extra time. It's 88 minutes. Yeah, you can go on, Maxwell. Get a bit of a run in you, son. I'm actually. I know I sound defeated. I can't be arsed with him anymore. He's annoying me now.
I get what you're saying. Where the summer it could be a fun and games if we don't know. Well, if you guys don't know what manager's coming in, but my point with this is, as long as the board has some sort of idea, and the manager has some sort of idea, it doesn't matter that you guys don't know. All that matters is Moyes is gone, and then you can start going again.
I'd agree to that in a sense, because I agree with you. Tim Steiden is apparently the way forward, right? If you look at the signings, he's not been a bad signing, really, in the 18 months he's been with us. He just hasn't. So you would think Tim Steiden's going to do the recruitment, and then he will be one of the main decision makers to have a new manager. What worries me is if you start bringing in players that Tim Steiden wants, which is, by the looks of it, playing out from the back and being quite on the front foot, and then you bring Lopetegui in, who again is sitting back, counter-attacking football. It makes me worry.
Sorry, 2 seconds. I need to double check because I'm not too sure that's the name I seen that was linked. But 2 seconds. Talk between yourselves.
Lopetegui's the ex-Sevilla manager. I mean, he's won the Europa League. It's not like he's a bad manager, because he's not. He just, I don't think. I think you need a complete identity change. If you're going to get rid of him after 4 years, you need a complete different mentality. You need what Tottenham had.
I think for me, right, we're already quite top heavy. I think when at the end of this season, we've got a lot of people going forwards. But I think the biggest problem is the reason that we're shipping goals is because you're right. The partnerships we've got aren't working. He doesn't seem to trust any youth at all, which for me, right, I get it, right? You have experience.
The thing is, Ben, though, do you ever see a forward pattern of play? Like, I'm not even trying to just dig him out, but do you ever see like a total it's what I call a Mourinho counter attack, right? So as soon as they get the ball, they pass it forward, then you see runners, always wide runners, loads, at least 3 runners. I never see that with us, and I always feel like when we counter, it's very
slow.
Impromptu. It's slow. It's impromptu. It's
well, I think
it's not structured.
We had 13 shots today, and I think we got 2 on target.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and both of them were on the bar.
Bowen was unlucky though. Yeah, Bowen was very unlucky.
I'm not saying they weren't unlucky, but they had, I think it was 29 shots and 14 on target.
Who signed Phillips?
Apparently, Phillips was a Moyes signing, if you believe the insiders.
Apparently, he's having decided to activate him for next season. Apparently, he's gonna, and he's not going back to City, so he needs to find somewhere, which is a fucking shambles.
I guess the last kind of topic on West Ham is just like, if we're in trouble now, we've got a game against Luton. Obviously, we're at next weekend, Ben. Last home game of the season. I've got a really, really, really big feeling that if there'll be other implications in the fact that it could end up like a Burnley again, where there is so much toxicity at that club. And do you know what as well? They're plastering this season ticket renewal stuff all over the website and that, and all over the internet.
Why would you?
Who's going to renew? Yeah. Who's going to renew right now without knowing? No one's going to renew.
Well, I think if it wasn't for our fan base, I wouldn't be going to this Luton game. Because in all honesty, I struggle to watch Moyes on the TV. You saw it. You know, it was the league, the season before we won the conference. Towards the end of that season, mate, I just got to the point I couldn't be arsed watching. I think we were like,
because after January we were shit.
I think we went either 2-0 down or 3-0 down to Spurs, and he brought on 2 defenders, and I went, oh fuck off, and I just turned it off and I left because, and I think the problem is he should have left when he won. And the way we're going about it now, we're going to go all the way. We've paid for train tickets all the way down to London. So we're going to go all the way down. We're going to go watch the game. And quite genuinely, the way we're playing at the moment, I as much as I doubt it, I think Luton could end up winning, and it's going to destroy me.
Will. They've got something to play for.
Just get pissed and not remember this game. That's my opinion.
We're already on the beach. We've been on the beach since Leverkusen.
So I've just had a look. Yeah, Lopetegui is one of the candidates. You also have Hansi Flick and Ruben Amorim.
Who's the Sporting Lisbon?
Oh, right, okay.
I would take him.
Yeah, so would I.
He would be the one I would go for.
Apparently we're looking at Francesca as well. The Lille manager. That's it, mate. Any of them that play good football. Yeah. All I want to see, if we're going to go mid-table, can we go Slaven Bilic mid-table?
Yeah.
And can not being able to do Arsenal at the Emirates, go to the Etihad and do City, go to Stamford Bridge and get a draw out of them, go to White Hart Lane and back there. It's like, just get a couple of good results. I ain't on about wanting to win a fucking league, but can we put something together? Look at how good we are going forward.
Yeah. Some of the talent we've got going forward.
Would go, you've got one of the best young wingers about. Kudos. He was class at Ajax. Yeah, he maybe fell apart at the end, but it's because he wanted to push his move through, and he
Maybe
did.
laugh if he's gone.
But
maybe laugh if he's gone, if he wants to go.
He won't go. Telling you now, West Ham won't let him go. I think, personally, sporting manager, there's a reason Liverpool are looking at him, because he plays good football, and he's a winner. He wants to win things. He's not one of these where, we lost 1-0 to City, but it's City. Nah. He wants to beat everybody. Yep. Or the Reims one that's just left, Will Still. Well, he's actually called William Still. But him plays good football, and he's pretty solid.
I just want to see
all he needs is
a response to the board like Palace, right? Roy Hodgson, fair play. He was playing too defensively. His last game, he came out, played attacking, they got slapped. All right, whatever. They sack him. They bring in the Eintracht Frankfurt manager, and he has done bits, but no one is sitting there.
They do Liverpool at home. They do Liverpool at Anfield.
But no one.
2 weeks after him taking over.
The biggest thing that's annoying me, they've made a positive change, and no one is sitting there going, "Oh, careful what you wish for." And the problem is that term right now is like a trigger for me, because as soon as I hear it, I'm sitting there going, "I'm going to go into that studio and bitch slap Jamie Redknapp." Like
it's just a nonsense.
It's
just a nonsense.
I quite honestly, like you said, I would rather have a season where we finish 10th or 11th or 12th, whatever, and we turn up and we play like we did under Bilic, where we're scoring worldies against a certain team, or we're actually coming out and we're fighting. Oh, you got beat by Spurs? Yeah, it was 4-3. Like, we came out, we scored 3 goals against them. Not, we turned up Chelsea today and they fucked us 5-0. Like, there needs to be, especially with the derbies, right? I'm not saying we'll turn up the City and we'll beat them, because at the moment, we're not even close to getting that. But I want to see fight in a London derby. It means something. If it was an Arsenal-Spurs game, right, and you turned up and you went 4-0 down in 10 minutes, you'd be sitting there going, well, what the fuck? It's a North London derby, you know what I mean? Any London derby, you should be up for it. You should be fighting. It's something that should get the players' backs up. They should be proud to wear that badge. But at the moment, I don't really blame them that much, to be honest, mate, because I struggle to get behind Moyes.
I've had this moment with Unai Emery. The man loves winning European trophies. We got fucking slapped in Baku by Chelsea. Not just slapped, fucking. It was not even just a European final. It was a London derby, a big one, and we didn't turn up. We got rid of Unai Emery shortly after that. We've been through that, but I think there's also another big thing that needs to be spoken about. And it's not just Moyes. I think Moyes is the biggest part of it, but your board needs to get something about them. They need to get some bite back and go, he might be the face of the team, but he is not the face of West Ham.
Well, that's apparently why Lopetegui's the favourite, is because David Sullivan gets on with the agent that represents him. I mean, that's just the wrong way of going about it. It
shouldn't be the fact that they're getting on with them. It should be the case of years Arsenal fans are moaning about the Cronkies. Don't run the club right. Don't spend any money. We're not winning anything. As soon as Josh Kroenke came in, well, he was already in, but took more of a shareholder. And look at us now. It's not like he's died. It's like, okay, you want this to be your project. You go do this. We're spending money, which we never used to. We're challenging for the league. We never fucking used to. We're going deep in, we can go deep into fucking FA Cups and Carabao Cups. It's about the board as much as the manager. If your board isn't being that involved in the team, involved in the club, so to speak, why should Moyes care? It's the same as Saka. If Saka isn't performing, he knows he's in next week. David Moyes, he knows he's there next against Luton. He knows he's there to the end of the season, so he don't give a shit. You need to have them to turn around and go, you've just lost. How many have you lost on the bounce? 11, did you say?
No, we've got 1 win in 9 and not kept a clean sheet in 16.
That Dave's return on the go. That's not good enough. Cheerio.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
That's fucking ball knowledge, by the way. 2 wins this year, and one's Everton and one's Brentford.
This is going to sound daft. I'm not even a West Ham fan. I would rather have Mark Noble as an interim for 2 games rather than David Moyes for the rest.
I've said this. I think I said this maybe last month. Genuinely, just let us know what's happening. Put Nolan in front. It's so annoying, right? We're so shit in midfield right now. I don't think you'll know him. There's a geezer called Freddie Potts who's just been at Wickham. He's just got League One, I think, Player of the Season, or he's been in the team of the season for League One. He's come back because League One's finished. He won't get a game in the next 2 games.
Of course he didn't.
No.
But you also had one of the best midfielders in the Championship in Flynn Downs and
Cullen as well. Cullen as well at Burnley last year, but don't worry, we'll just sell him off. It's just so fucking backwards.
I just think there needs to be more clarity from head to toe with West Ham. As soon as the fans get that, yes, it won't stop everything with Moyes.
No,
but I keep referring back to Arsenal. When we knew Wenger was going, we still didn't want him there, but we were grateful for him.
Yeah, because exactly. You're enjoying the time you've got with him and going, thank you for your time. See you later. Onwards and upwards. It
is slightly different. It's not really. You know what? It's not. Arteta, he's going to win us the Premier League, but that's no this year. Wenger won us the Premier League, won us the FA Cups, took us to the Champions League final, which arguably we should have won, but we didn't. But we were thankful for that, but we still wanted him to go because he needed to go. It's the same with Moyes. You're grateful for the time, the short kind of success he's had, but he needs to go.
Yeah.
It's as simple as, and it's not a witch hunt. It's an opinion. If you don't like football fans' opinions, you shouldn't be a fucking pundit. It's simple as that.
Gary Neville argument.
We might as well move on to. Arsenal, really.
Yeah.
Not fucking no. It's going to take 2 minutes.
It's a bit of a happier subject now, isn't it? We'll move on to Arsenal. But I think the only term is put away. Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's professional, wasn't it? That's probably the best.
Surgical, wasn't it? Like 3-0. You didn't look like you really had any bother with them, to be honest.
No, I don't think there's any moment that you kind of look at the game and you look at Bournemouth and go, fuck, like, they threatened us there. Like, I can't think of one. But I'm going to give Bournemouth, credit where credit's due. We were on about this last week, where some of the mid-table teams, lower league teams, go to, the Liverpool, City, the Emirates, Arsenal, stuff like that, and they change the way they play. They don't play the way they normally do. Bournemouth stacked it. And you know what? I wouldn't say it didn't work. They did. Because, yes, we won 3-0. But if you look at the goals, they're not magnificent. Some of them are not rebounds, but it's lucky to come back to the player that gets and then passed Rice. It's came back to me, it's just passed off to Trossard.
Well, the penalty's not a penalty, is it?
Let's
get that out of the way. That's nowhere near a penalty.
We spoke about it when it was Saka and Neuer in Champions League. And the only difference here is that the goalkeeper for Bournemouth, he pulled out.
VAR has not overturned that, by the way. That was given by the ref, and VAR didn't overturn that. I cannot get my head around that.
It's David Coote, mate. He doesn't know where the fuck he is half the time. I'm not gonna lie, he's the shittiest referee there is.
Bournemouth should have had 10 players on. I don't know how that geezer's not been sent off on Saka. He literally took him at the knee. No, genuinely, and then Saka even showed the referee his gouger out of his leg, and he's like, "How are you not calling that?"
Because the boy is inept of his job. He doesn't know where he is. He's glaikit, as my mum would say. He's fucking clueless. He doesn't know where the fuck he is half the time. It looks like he's woke up, rolled out of bed, and went, "Here we go." The boy is short. I hate him so much.
And the only other thing, just make sure we're all in total agreement, is that Bournemouth disallowed. Was it disallowed goal?
Disallowed. It shouldn't have been disallowed.
That's fine. As long as we're all in unanimous decision.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm happy it was. So see, it fucking helps us towards the end of the season. We drop points when it happens, but it's never happening. But
you look at it. I mean, Spurs are on a straight 4-loss streak against some poor opposition and then shipping goals every single game. We ain't won in 9 games, and we've conceded 5 goals against a poor Chelsea team, and we're going to fucking Etihad last day of the season. I mean, we are going to be spit roasted.
Nah, it's happening. I've got a feeling you're getting a draw. One of these are getting a draw. Don't think they're losing. I can see a draw coming.
I'd like to commend Arsenal. It doesn't happen very often, but I'd like to commend Arsenal how professionally actually they're keeping the pressure on City. And I'm not even trying to do that as a banter, keeping the pressure, as Spurs used to say. I'm actually genuinely meaning it. They're keeping not severe pressure, and I think any other team it might affect. City obviously are a different beast, but I genuinely
touch tight, isn't it?
Pleasantly surprised how good. Yeah, they're doing it in a sense that they never looked worried against Bournemouth. They just knew a goal would come if they played their way, and I love that sort of
mentality.
I mean, you can call it arrogance, right? But it's confidence as well. It's recognition of how good you are. And
you know what the big difference is? The big difference of last season to this season, they're not looking behind. We're not looking behind and wondering when our City come in. We're chasing the beast. We're looking up at them, and we're wanting them to slip up. All last season, people were wanting us to slip up, and it eventually did. It caught up with us, and it was. You know what I think? It was because how young we were never in that position before, and they had nothing to look forward to because they didn't know what was coming. City, on the other hand, when they're on top, they know what's coming. They've done it countless years. They know how to win. I feel we know how to chase, and that is what we're doing.
Well, I think I said that to you last week. I think it's easier. Arsenal prefer being in the chasing position to being in the
leading.
I'm setting the bar, you match that sort of thing.
It's just going to sound like a weird analogy, but it's easier to run looking forward than looking behind.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Also, so you're playing the best. You're going up against the best team England's ever seen. I don't care what any Man United fan says. This City team beats any United team in the past. I don't think that's not any Arsenal. Sorry, United. Sorry, any United team in the past. Oh, did I? Sorry. The only thing I think is maybe struggles then, and it's just a bit of a bias because I like the way he plays. I think the Mourinho 04-05 probably gives this City team a run for his money, but I think even then I don't think they even match. This City team's unreal, and I just respect actually what Arsenal are doing. I mean, Liverpool have just fucking fallen off a cliff, but
they played well today. I'll give them credit where it's due. But the thing is, right? I don't know how to feel about this season. It's a weird position I'm in because normally I'm sitting here and I'm very fucking critical but I need to kind of look at it and go, we spent money. It's not like we've fallen off, like as you say with Liverpool, fallen off a cliff and we're not playing the way we want. We've spent money. We've played good football for the majority of the season. You're going up against one of the best City teams that there's ever fucking been in the Premier League.
I'm not one of this. I don't know if you agree though. I'm not on this boat, this gravy train where like apparently Arsenal's done nothing wrong and they've been better than City. Because I personally think the Premier League is very much if you're on top of the Premier League after 38 games, you've been the best team. That's how the Premier League works. I don't think you can get up there by luck. I don't think anyone's ever won the league by luck. Even that Leicester year, they were the best team. And people like Mark Goldbridge are just shitting on City because they're bored of City winning the league, which they're going to be because they're looking the other side of the City now, not liking it, the fact that United aren't winning anything, which is fine. But
I'm bored of City winning the league. You know what? It's not just City. I am bored of one team running away with it. Every fucking year. I love it when it goes... I loved it when I was younger, when it was United and City. Went into the last game. United were at Sunderland and City had QPR. That was amazing. You got one of the best moments in Premier League history with the Aguero goal. The commentary was on point. That is what football should be. And I understand you want your team to play great football and stuff like that, but I get fucking bored when City are 16 points in front of everybody because it's sort of like, just lift the trophy already. I love the unknown. I love the unknown of going to the final season. Who's getting relegated? Who's winning the title? Who's getting European football? I don't want to see.
You missed your calling as a West Ham fan. That's what it was.
I think
This year, I know they're going to get relegated.
I said this the other
No, but
week,
you're right.
is what we need. We do need another season where a team just comes out of the blue and they just go like a Leicester, where they just...
West Ham. Get Amorim in.
Well,
West Ham.
it's not
I
gonna be,
disagree,
it's
Ben.
not going to be us.
I want the top 4 to all win the title. That can win the title. I should change that sentence. That goes into the last game and there's 4 teams that can win it.
That's
4.
never happened, though.
The Prem's never been...
That's exciting.
No,
It is.
No,
Yeah, if it was like one game in it
I-
between 4 clubs, yeah, it'd be unbelievable. But I just...
this
James White.
is the closest This is the closest title race 3 horse that I remember in a very long time. Though it's usually always 2. 3 is a very different. I mean, obviously Liverpool's dropped off. I think you can partially put on injuries, but
When you look at the media, it was getting. Yes, I'm going to say here as an Arsenal fan, I don't love the whole publicity around it. And I'll be honest, it should be up to the fans to enjoy it, not the media to kind of ruin it with, it's Klopp's farewell tour and Arteta's like, I don't even care, and then Pep's the best manager that's ever fucking lived. Damn what? The arguments for all of them. Yes, just let the fans enjoy it. I get you want to make money and stuff, but they don't need to publicise it, and fans will still buy tickets to go watch it. I will still watch on TV. People still pay like their subscriptions to watch it. You don't need to force it down our throats, which I feel has sort of ruined it, so to speak, because I've spoken to a few fans and it's like they don't really care now because it's been shoved down their throats for so long.
it is also bear in mind it's the season blues period, as like it's towards the end of the season and it's like half the games you watch on live at the moment are all just half the teams are at the beach. Like I think you saw that with Spurs.
This was mid-February. I was speaking Sunday, and they're like, it was when we were spanking teams like nil and getting plenty of goals and stuff. But they went. It's like they don't want any of us to win. Like Spurs don't want us to win. United don't want City to win. Fucking Everton don't want Liverpool. Like it's all this, and no one seems to really care.
You've got Gary Neville.
Wins.
You've got Gary Neville, the second coming of Tyne, not wanting anyone else to win apart from you lot. I think he's been on 3 games in a row with Spurs, and he's shit on Spurs every single game. And by the way, I'm no fan of Spurs, but he loves Arsenal right now.
I'm gonna do a TikTok soon, and I'm gonna get a fucking what's the word?
Get on your soapbox.
I forgot the word. I had it in my head. No. I'm gonna get a form. Everyone's gonna sign it, and we're not gonna get Gary Neville doing Super Sunday anymore. What's the word I'm looking for? Because I can't go. Petition. It was in my head. It was fucking back here where most of my thoughts are. Fucking, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it out there, and we're gonna get him off TV. I don't even just get something new in. I'm sick of listening to Gary Neville every fucking week. And you know what? I like Carragher sometimes. They need to change Monday nights up as well. Yes, they're getting like Redknapp in some weeks, and then you're getting Karen Gilligan in one week and stuff like that. No, it's no Gilligan, that's an actress. Karen, whatever her name is, like that. But just change it all. I want like Theo Walcott. I like him as a player. I think he's quite good as a pundit, but he doesn't get enough airtime from me. And then you've got the likes of Carragher does Champions League, does Monday night. Gary Neville does every fucking Sunday. Ali McCoy seems to have just come out of fucking nowhere and get every European job that there fucking is. But I want something new. I want something young and new.
I'm calling this right now, by the way. Monday Night Football next season will be... I'm calling this right now. If we change manager, we will be on the first Monday night and they'll put Moyes on to go through what he's time at West Ham. I'm calling this right now and we'll get slagged off for 2 hours. I know, Ben, it's going to happen. It always happens.
Hilarious. Get him as a pundit, that'll be hilarious.
Nah.
No, definitely.
I struggle to deal with Jamie Redknapp. I can't deal with Moyes as a pundit.
No one deals with Jamie Redknapp.
It's because he doesn't know what he's on about. He just talks absolute guff, and then Moyes as a pundit was. You won't be able to see him in the line. Do you know why? Because you will have 11 men in front of him, arsehole.
He's sitting there in his
yeah,
bus.
exactly. Yeah, behind the wall.
Right, go on, Ben. You wanted to apparently bring.
So I got a question, Gav. It goes between the two of us. Our season's over. I consider this season a failure for us. Mate, like I don't consider it anything for us to be proud of this year. if you guys don't win the league, you've won about as much as us this year. If you don't win the league, do you consider it a failure because you spent a lot of money before the start of the season?
Not a failure. If we don't win the league, I'll be disappointed, but I wouldn't class the season as a failure. So at the end of the day, we've still got a very young team. Everyone's going to hate this. The project is coming to an end, but it's not at an end yet. It isn't.
So is the crescendo next year then?
I say this, and he gets one more year, and if we don't win it, then I don't think he'll ever win it.
Because do you know what it feels like a bit to me with like not all Arsenal fans, but some Arsenal fans? They go, "Oh, the squad's young." I've heard this from England managers and England pundits for the last 25 years, and we always say this, and we never end up winning. We're always the bridesmaid and never the bride, and then we change manager, and then it doesn't happen with them.
The reason I asked the question, Gav, is like this is probably the closest I've seen Arsenal in a very long time to winning a league. If you don't win it this year, do you think you divert your attention to try and get in a cup, or at least just something, or do you reckon you just sole focus on the league? Like
next year. So you know what? I'm going to give you two answers here. As a fan, win them all. Go for them all. I want you to win every fucking game. I want to win every competition. Next, the second answer, I'm not going to give you an answer just yet. I want to see how we kick off next. I want to see how the summer transfer window goes. If we get a class striker in, so apparently we're looking at Joshua Zirkzee that we've been monitoring for years. If we get a striker in, we kind of get the bench full up with players that can start in the squad, the starting team. Get them in the bench. See how we go, and I'll give you an answer by October.
If you have a title challenge again next year, don't win it, and then win an FA Cup, then that's successful.
It's just in a strange sort of way, yes.
I think yes,
but in this other way, no. It's one of those ways. It's one of those things. And I'm not belittling any fucking team here, but as a top 6 team, you should be fighting for the Prem. You should be able to win the FA Cup. You should be going the distance in the Champions League, Europa League, whatever it is. That's our expectations. My expectations is I want to go deep in every competition. If we win something, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, it's a trophy. The big one is the Premier League, though. That's Arteta saying that I'm fucking getting the job as a fucking PR person.
For me, I agree with you partially, right? Is if you discount, so say for example, you don't win the league this year, right? So as an individual season, if you won the FA Cup next year, I'd consider that a successful season. But if I'm counting the 2 previous along with that, I'm counting it as a letdown slightly because.
At some point, though, you can't spend £200 million every year and then stand still. And I'm not digging them out. I think City are the best team in England, and I think they're by a mile as well. I think you see in the last month.
One more year. That's why he gets one more year, and people are not gonna like this. He has got a strong little Havertz. He's got him scoring goals. He scored more goals than he ever did at fucking Chelsea. He's actually playing pretty decent. That Chelsea could never. We've got one of the best midfielders in the league with Declan Rice. Our defence is a lot more solid than what it was before Arteta came in. We're just missing that one piece of the puzzle. And I'll say this now: if we get the person that we really want, that isn't Tony, it's not Watkins, it's somebody that's going to be a squad player, that isn't going to be the
star boy.
Look at the Aubameyang. Oh, look at me, I'm the main man. I want somebody that's going to come in and do that. If we can get it, and they want to play for the team, play in the team. If we get him, we win the league next year.
I don't know.
This year, we'll win it next year. But with your question, if we win the FA Cup and we finish 7th, not good enough.
Get him sacked. No, what I was going to say, I don't know. I think Arsenal are in a really odd point, and I think they've caused it themselves actually, in the sense that if you look anywhere in that squad, the only place you can the only position you can replace and it be an improvement and it not be
striker
60, 70 million No, but not be 60, 70 million. You're probably talking left back. And then apart from that, and that's even if you don't put Yuri and Timber in, but if you put Yuri and Timber in at left back, you've got no position in that whole starting 11 that you could probably improve for anywhere less 65, 70 million. And I honestly believe that.
Timber, he's fit, by the way. He just wasn't included. He's played the last 2 games for the under-21s. I reckon he might be on the bench against United, and I think he'll play the last game of the season.
What I mean is that if you're going for a league, what I meant is like City's got the same problem-ish, but they seem to go 2-3 years ahead and then get them in. They're kind of like a Brighton. They kind of merge them in season by season. You lot want success, right? But if you look around that team, who are you replacing for less than 70 million right now? I mean, no one, right?
Who? What, left back?
No one in that Arsenal team. No. So say Yuri and Timber goes into left back. If you've got Yuri and Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Raya, Rice, Erdegaard, Havertz in that midfield, maybe, and then Saka, Martinelli, and someone up front. What I'm saying, what position do you improve in the summer that isn't going to cost you 70-odd million, 80-odd million? Oh, you don't want Ben White there?
I personally no. He's a set. You know what? I love him. I love him to bits. But this season, he's had so many games where he's made crucial mistakes, and we've dug ourselves into a hole. Done against Bayern. He done it a few weeks before. He doesn't do what a fullback should do. Yes, he can go up the field, and he's a good attacker. Class. He's a centre back. For me, the player that we've been linked with, and we can get him for 27 million with his release clause, is Jeremy Frimpong. The boy can defend. He's an out-and-out fullback, and he can go forward and attack. He saw it with Bayer Leverkusen this season. He's been the best right back in the world. I don't care what anybody's fucking said. He has been phenomenal this year. I watched him at Celtic, and I've watched him this year. He's second to none. But the thing is, right, one of the best signings Arteta's had, or done, him and Edu, that isn't spoken about, it's not Declan Rice. It's Trossard. He's a squad player. He's a squad player, but he's come in and went, Ken what? I might be on the bench behind Martinelli for now. Trossard's had his trial period. He's passed it with flying colours, and that's why he's starting instead of Martinelli. It's not an injury, it's nothing like that. Unfortunately, I love Martinelli. He hasn't got the IQ that Trossard does. Trossard makes defenders look fucking silly. Like, he turns them inside out. He can play in the middle. He can play on the right. He can drop back a bit. He does all that.
He suits that Arteta way though. He suits that inverted foot. He suits that inverted winger so well with the Arteta way of playing.
That's what we need, players like that. But not just like the invertedness. I think we need players that can play multiple positions. I think that's what every team's kind of trying to find now. Look at Brighton. Brighton have that. But we need the players like Trossard that they can sit on the bench, but then when they get into the first squad, they take the brass ring with both hands. And they're not upset that they're on the bench. They're fighting to get in the starting, and that is what we need for right wing, midfield, defence, strike. We have it go goalkeeper, but goalkeeper's a fucking strange one because he never changes Raya. If we have somebody behind he'll score more goals. He will drive at defenders. I'm telling you now, this will happen. We get somebody in that could replace Saka in the starting for a couple of games while Saka gets his head screwed on. Saka will change. It'll change for the better.
If I'm Arteta or I'm Edu, I don't know where you replace. The thing is, I don't know if FFP is an issue for Arsenal, so I'm just putting it out there. The only player I'd like to see at Arsenal, because I think he'd be brilliant, but he's already at a club. He's already at a club and he's not going to make a sideward move. I'd love to see Szoboszlai in that midfield next to Rice and Odegaard. I think that would be unreal. But he won't move, so that's just not going to happen. But
so a player like that, but it's not the caliber of Szoboszlai, is Zubimendi for Real Sociedad. He is good at defending. He's good at going forward. He's technical. Is one thing we're kind of missing in midfield sometimes, and you see it with Jorginho, but I feel Jorginho's legs are kind of coming to an end. No, because I would put him as a calm. I'm on about Zubimendi sits as a box to box, where Rice sort of is playing for Arsenal now, where we don't want him to play. You've box to box. Zubimendi's got legs. he's physical, he's technical, and he's clever. But I want multiple people in every position that you like. City, you take Haaland out, Alvarez is there. De Bruyne's not playing, we'll shove Silva in there. Phil Foden's not playing, we'll shove Grealish in there. I want that. With us, it's sort of like we don't have Tomiyasu at left back. Zinchenko, not good enough. I want to be excited for any team, any player to go into this team. And at the moment, I'm not. Timber, can't wait till he's back. But Ben White can't be right back next year. We won't win a title with him at right back. Say that, we'll win it this year, but...
Ben?
Probably second thing that would be, he's obviously this year, we've probably addressed it at the beginning of the year, and then obviously mentioned it probably pretty much every week since. What do we think is going to have to happen with refs for us to actually be able to watch a game and not cry every time we see VAR?
I've got us. It's not necessarily refs. It happened in Europe. They used the automated system where obviously it's like Hawkeye, and then it kind of swoops down to like a level view, and it's 30 seconds that you can see if they're offside or not. Kills that of time. Linesmen can then be more focused and worried about what's actually going on. So I think linesmen this season have been as poor as the fucking refs have. But I think the same with refs. Get new ones in. It's the same bubble of them every year.
I just think they keep pushing a narrative where, like, this season, it's going to be more physical. We're going to be more clear-cut with decisions. It was going to be yellow for only one person allowed in the technical area. Then it's all right if they stand at different corners. And then my biggest thing is next season, going into that, surely a lot's got to change, because at the moment they brought all this crap in, stuck to absolutely none of it, and there's been so many decisions this year, whether it's been pen decisions or whether it's someone's only got a yellow instead of getting straight sent off. Something's got to change. Surely they can't keep doing this.
So I'll just put 3 decisions in. This is what's wrong with refereeing, and I'll literally call it in 30 seconds.
I'm going to think what ones you're going to say. I'm going to see if I can get them.
You've got the West Ham Anthony Gordon one, right? You've got the one today against Liverpool where Gomez has literally kicked the ball and then smashed Ben Johnson in the head. By the way, and then the third one is you've got yesterday Phil Foden getting tackled off Wolves, right? You've literally got the Wolves player has hit Phil Foden after Phil Foden has made clean contact with the ball. Never a pen. It's just not a pen. Joe Gomez has hit Ben Johnson after contact with the ball. In my opinion, it's not a pen. But then you've got the Anthony Gordon one.
So they have for Ben Johnson. Oh, you have Ben Johnson.
Brennan Johnson, sorry, not Ben Johnson. Sorry, Brennan Johnson. And then you've got Anthony Gordon, who stuck his toe out in front of Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips didn't even know he was there. Got a pen for it. But you've got the Foden one was a pen. The Gomez one today wasn't a pen. And then the Anthony Gordon one was a pen. You've got no consistency around contact in the box. You've got Kai Havertz yesterday diving over a ball, clearly leaving his foot in to a stupid delay. And then the VAR doesn't even overturn it because they consider it not an incorrect decision. But you can bet your fucking arse that if the ref didn't call it, VAR wouldn't have brought it back for it. It is a joke. And I don't mind. It's what I said to you, Ben, right? If you're going to call them, call all of them. And if you're going to call none of them, call none of them. And that's all I care about. But it is so multifaceted. I don't want to get into a massive rant. But the pundits do no thing either. Because if they don't give it, apparently the refs know nothing about football. And if they do give it, the refs know nothing about football. It's just one of those. That Curtis, the earliest one you can go back to. You remember the Curtis Jones one at Spurs when his foot's gone over the ball and he's ended up studs into the geezer's leg.
Yeah,
it's a red card. I don't give a fuck if his leg's slightly gone off the ball or whatever. His legs are showing studs up. And then Saka one yesterday didn't get given for what?
No, that was my main question. Is like obviously we do rant about the refs pretty much every game week because there seems to be not even one decision each week. It seems to be that each game week there's like 2-3 decisions where we're sitting there going, so what level are we meant to be maintaining? We're meant to be.
Well, for example, For example, you know the Sheffield United game where we had the Areola Ollie McBurney, sorry, penalty given against us. Not Michael Oliver. Howard Webb said that was a penalty. That was a correct decision because he went through it last week. But the Bowen one, when literally the geezers just tackled him to the ground, isn't a pen. Is a pen, and it was wrong. And I've literally listened to the recording. The geezer goes, that was a 50-50 tussle. Where's the boy looking at the fucking ball? Like, you can see it with 4 angles. It's just incompetence in that VAR as well. It does not help. They have lost all bottle.
Yeah, people don't like when I say this. Football, Premier League, needs to look at how rugby officiate. It doesn't take as fucking long, and the referee actually listens to VR, and VR has an opinion of like, you haven't picked this up. Please go and look at it. Something like that. This one is, you've not picked up on it, so we're just going to brush it under the carpet as if it's not happened.
Do you know what makes me laugh though, Gav? They don't put it on the screens, right, at football. And I reckon they think that because they're going to get stick in the stand. I tell you now, and I might not be speaking for all football fans, if you put it on at least the TV so we can see what your decision is, we will either massively agree with it or massively not. At least we'll know what your decision is. At the moment, we're just standing there going, VAR decision pending. You're like, all right.
Me and you have been to a few Scottish rugby games. When they're checking something, they put it on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you know what? In games, you do hear when it's a crunch and tackle, stuff like that. But after the game, like, you remember that it's not a fucking witch hunt for the referee after it, unless they don't give us the fucking decision in semi-final when they did. But I don't think the fans will. I think during the 90 minutes,
you just want to know what's going on.
Yeah, you want to see it on the screen, but they're not going to turn around afterwards and go, "Oh, fuck this." You see it there, clear cut.
Because you know what it is. It's like I've been there, mate. It's like that Southampton one last year. I was at. It took 4.5 minutes for it to be called offside. You sit there going, "Bloody hell, that must have been close." Got to the part afterwards, you're like, "How was that not called straight away?" I can see it on my own eye.
The thing is, right? I know you were watching West Ham today, but did you catch any of the Brighton Villa game?
I didn't catch any of it.
No.
So Brighton scored the goal, and the boy was slightly offside. The cameras then panned to a supporter, a dad with his son, and I think his mother. He's got his phone, and he's showing the kid. Yeah, he's showing the kid what's going on. The commentary went, "They shouldn't have to do this." You know what? They shouldn't have to do it. But you're the fucking issue. Because you say it during a game, but you don't come out afterwards and fucking say it. And the pundits never say anything either, which is another fucking thing.
If I had a wish list for the refs, all I'd want is them to sit out there still before the season. Because they're the refs, right? If they want to call someone a pen or they don't want to call it a pen, I think it's up to them. The pundits need to shut up. The refs are there to do a job, right? Just stick with the decision. Don't care about the criticism. Call what you want to call. But for fuck's sake, make it more visible for fans that are in the stadium. And also, as well, what I'd like is a bit more of a communicative sort of VAR system, not just because it's like, what was that one a couple of weeks ago, Ben? It was like, it was the wrong decision, but it wasn't clear and obvious. You're like, what do you mean? It's either wrong or it's right. It's not this. Harold Webb's included this grey area, and it doesn't help anyone. All it does is make more spurious detail.
It's the same. It's the same with. I can go back to it. It's the same with rugby. So one of the Scotland games where it was the way the referee worded a sentence. Then the TMO went and had a look at it, and it was the wrong decision that they came to. But TMO couldn't do anything because the referee had already given a decision, and there was no clear and decisive view of it. But the thing is, yes, there was backlash for that. But you get over it as a fan, unfortunately. It's still there. But that happens, every 1 in 8 games? This happens every fucking week.
I do think as well, in the last month, and I always think this, by the way, this isn't the last season, this is every season, is as soon as the run-in starts from March, the teams that are in the run-in get favourable ref decisions. They always do. And I'm not even just slagging off Arsenal. It used to happen with Man United as well. they
And
always
Chelsea,
get favourable decisions towards them because the refs don't want to be the reason they didn't win the league. And that's the only reason why.
Another thing that I think would be beneficial, mic the referee up. Mic them up.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't mean like the running round and you're hearing fucking it's not fucking fault. No.
Yeah.
They go to the screen and they have like a button or something and they go, right, VAR check, offside, Ben White, offside. Something like that. You're giving the so the fans know what's going on. They can't just go.
Well, I don't mean to sound horrible, right? And as I said about the running, right? It's like Michael Oliver is at best referee, and he needed VAR to tell him that Declan Rice decision was apparently a penalty. He needed VAR to tell him that, did he? Mate, he was staring right at it. I've literally put the still in the last video. What?
The ball's been fucking clattered into.
Do you get what I mean? No, I don't. That's what I want, Ben. If he gave me one thing, it would be more bottle, a bit of a tougher stomach. To be honest with you, I know football fans are really edgy at times, and we like having a go at anything that goes against our team. But at some point, you've got to also realise. Yeah, but you've got to also realise you're an officiating body. No one's going to like all your decisions. If you go against one team, you're going to get that. If you go against the other team, you're going to get that. It is what it is. Do me a favour.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. Stop thinking you need to appease everyone, which is what happens at the moment. And refs just go, oh, well, I didn't pick, VAR did. And VAR's got a better vision than I do. Be a referee. Be a referee. That's what I'm asking you to do.
Two things I'm going to end on here is I think they need new and younger referees that are hungry for the opportunity, that they want to make a difference, is a big one. I think you've got the same Mike Oliver, Taylor, you had Howard Webb for years, Mike Dean. It's the same boat. And fuck it, I'm no mention that prick. It's always the same ones. And I don't know about you, but you watch the team walk out. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, Michael Oliver loves just giving us reds.
Yeah. I don't want that. I want to be like, all right, I can this person. Sound. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, you say that, but then that Rob Elliott started officiating in the Premier League, and he's as useless as all the rest
weird.
of them.
It was. Do you know what I liked? I liked how the Championship was officiated last year, because it was like the meaty challenges were allowed. That as long as they were getting the ball, and they seem to be.
Thing is, though, mate, you got this player welfare stuff. The problem is, as soon as the injuries increase, they're going to blame it on the fact that the contacts come back. But it's like we said at the start of the season. On average, what was it, 65 minutes of the Premier League was played in the 90 minutes, which is why we're having all the extra time. It's like, and even now, players. What annoys me is if you actually want to go to the most basic concept of a referee is to keep the officiating of the game. Refs were meant to start carding people that threw the ball away or kicked the ball away. Now players are just going, I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to carry it away, and you can't card me. Card him anyway.
Like, you know what? Suchek was bad for that at the start of the season. I noticed that like 2 games in the trot. You just walk away and the ref's like, no, come here. And he's like, no, I don't have it now. Like, no, but you did. You just carried it half the fucking pitch, mate. The second thing, there needs to be repercussions. And I don't just mean you sit out a week. You get put on VAR duty. No. You get fucking wages deducted.
Yeah, I actually agree to an extent. I think if you make a serious problem, I think it'd be the exact same as what would happen if players, I think, were under that, or the manager was under that. I think you need to be suspended from your duties and probably not paid. They're paid a very good wage at the highest level to make these bad decisions. I don't understand it. I don't.
It's one of those. I'm not too sure if it would be like no pay at all. It should definitely be a hefty percentage of their purse. 100% be. But I also think with that as well, and I know what people are going to say and go, yeah, but then if you dare pay them, they're not going to make the decisions. Counter that,
make them anyway.
They should have comments whether if they're 100% sure it's a foul, they say it's a foul. If VR, then they go around to VR and VR goes, I'm not too sure about that, go check it. But it's also the case of, if they turn on and go, I'm not too sure, then VR can't turn on and go, it's not clear and obvious, so we can't overturn it. Or we can.
Yeah.
It's not a decision made. He's like, I don't know. So how you can't overturn the decision because the decision's made. So don't make the decision. Yeah. Leave it up to somebody that can actually rewatch it 4 or 5 times.
Do you know what I'd just like as well? I'd like Howard Webb to go on this VAR thing when he talks about the decisions in a game. I'd actually like someone other than Michael Owen who's just going to agree with Howard Webb all the time about what he says. I'd like someone that challenges his opinion. Do you know what I'd like? And not everyone's going to like this, and that's fine. But I'd actually wouldn't mind Graham Souness taking him to task. I think Graham Souness usually, as long as it's not to do with Liverpool or Pogba, has a good opinion, and I think he'd try and articulate it in an effective way. You've got Michael Owen at the moment, just agreeing with what Howard Webb says pretty much all the time. It doesn't really help anyone. You're doing a program that Howard Webb just gets to monologue and tell you why you're wrong and he's right. And what's the value to that?
What's the baldy cunt? He does it. I think he's like I tried to find his name and Google didn't tell me. It's hard to go off on a limb. Because the boys like on a Saturday, like Soccer Saturday. It's not Soccer Saturday. The 3 o'clock kickoffs.
Do you Mike Dean?
Nah, it's not Mike Dean. It's another one. He's got glasses. It was him, Sue Smith, Chris Boyd, I want to say, and they were like on about these decisions, and he was like the main guy. Like, yes, it is. No, it's no. I'll see if I can find the video and I'll send you guys later. He's fucking useless. Because 1 week he'll go around, that's a stonewall fucking penalty. Happens again, he turns and goes, oh, well, it was slight contact, but it's not enough to send them down. Well, it was fucking last week. He's useless. Get them all fucking gone. You know what? Replace them with children. Replace them with fucking football fans. They will do a better job than them.
I'd just like a weekly show to be accountable for your actions rather than just do the 90 minutes and never speak again until you do the next 90 minutes. I'd like them just to do like a Michael Oliver called it for this and this reason, and the reason why he didn't call this was for this reason, rather
than so much.
All right, guys. So that's it for this week. Like and subscribe. Might make Gavin smile. It won't make me smile, so don't worry about it. And yeah, we'll catch you next week after me and Jay have been down to West Ham. So we'll see how that goes.
Come on, you Irons.
We'll spanked United up and down the pitch.
Much the only thing that me and Jay are going to have to be happy about. So yeah, we'll see you next week. See ya.
See ya.